Hey everyone, and welcome to Ask MandRproductions episode 88. You all know the drill. If you have a question that you want answered on next week's episode, leave in the comment section below. And while you're at it, leave a like on the video. Let's go ahead and get started with our first question from the Ace of Bricks. He says, question, kind of like Dwight from The Office. Question, do you think the Star Wars theme will continue to last if the trend of overpriced remakes continues? Absolutely. There's a reason they keep doing remakes of sets. It's because there's always a new 8-year-old to buy them. It's something that you don't see if you're 8 years old and you're just getting a Luke's Landspeeder for the first time, but it's something you definitely see if you're me or you watching this video that's been following LEGO Star Wars for the better part of 2 decades. You definitely see the trends. Again, there's a new 8-year-old, like my cousin Corey, he's 11. That might be his first Luke's Landspeeder. He just doesn't know that there's been 7 other ones. So it's something you don't see from the perspective that we have a lot, but there's definitely a reason they keep doing so many remakes, and that's because there's new kids to buy them, and that's ultimately who they're really for. While they still do some awesome sets like UCS sets for us, there's obviously kids that need to have a Luke's Landspeeder, and as much as we don't like it, it's something that's going to stay around for sure. Boogly Smash says, have you ever considered making a Frankenstein UCS set out of any and all colors? And if you did make one, would you display it next to the real UCS set? I mean, I think that's the only way you could display it, because those things are incredibly ugly. I've seen some of them, and I really respect the builders who take the time to put together random colored parts to make something like that. I know some people do it when they don't feel like they have enough money to buy the actual version, and I'm just like, bruh, that looks ridiculous. But I mean, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into. Just Frankenstein UCS sets, or any sets in general, just look crazy to me, and they wouldn't fit in with my personal collection. Brick Trooper says, do you think LEGO charges extra for sets knowing that places like Walmart and Amazon will put them on discount almost immediately? That is something that has crossed my mind. It's entirely within the realm of possibility that LEGO does make sets a little bit more expensive to compensate for the fact that a lot of stores are going to put them at 20% off for a majority of their lifespan, and it's kind of an interesting way to look at it. LEGO themselves has to set a bar. LEGO stores often don't have actual sales on sets because they don't want to undercut their retailers, so they'll have a set at $100, let's say, while Walmart and Amazon will sell it for $80, even though LEGO sold it to them for like $70. So it's something that just, it could be true. Like, they might make them a little bit more expensive because Walmart and Amazon and Target sell them for less quite often, just so that consumers feel like they're getting a good deal. That's something that is entirely possible. I wouldn't be surprised. Gary says, Ryan, when you get the UCS Star Destroyer, where will you put it? Have you considered hanging sets that have carrying handles from your roof to free up space? So the hanging sets from my roof thing briefly crossed my mind, I want to say about 8 or 9 years ago, and quickly left that. That is never going to happen with me. I just can't imagine myself hanging a LEGO set from the ceiling. I don't see that ending well either. It either is just hanging from the ceiling where it's a pain in the butt if I ever want to get it down to use it, or even worse, it falls and shatters into however many pieces it's made out of, and maybe more because some of the pieces might break. So, no, I won't be hanging anything from my ceiling, but I do have this UCS Star Destroyer. Obviously, it's heavily rumored that there's going to be another UCS Star Destroyer, so I will very soon have 2 of them, and that puts me in a predicament. Where am I going to put these sets? And I don't know the answer to this. It's a little bit worrisome for me. I got to figure out the space issue behind me, but it's something that I gotta figure out, I guess. I have no idea where I'm gonna put it. It's probably gonna, I mean, the only space it can really use is gonna be that nightstand there, so I gotta move all that stuff off the nightstand, but that's where the UCS Falcon used to go, and then I had to move it, and I don't know what we're gonna do with it. Lego Kid 2007 said, what happened to Fortnite Friday? I stopped playing Fortnite. So, yeah, that's what happened to Fortnite Friday. I don't care about Fortnite anymore. It was fun while it lasted. I look back upon it nostalgically, which is weird to say about Fortnite, but, you know, I enjoyed my time on Fortnite. I had great times with both playing with you guys, the fans. I played with a ton of you guys, and also my friends. It was just, Fortnite was a good, like, 6 months for me, and it's in the past now, so thank you, Fortnite, for all you've done. I'm back on COD. Ed G says, what is the weirdest LEGO piece you have seen in a Star Wars set? That's tough. There's a lot of weird pieces. The one that comes to mind immediately, maybe you guys have a better answer for this in the comments section below, because obviously the collective minds of all of you is better than just me thinking about what I can think about. Some of you guys will remember different things, so if you have a weird piece that you've seen in a Star Wars set, let me know in the comment section below. But my weird piece is going to be the popsicle piece that we see in the 2011 Echo Base. I think it was 2011. The Hoth Echo Base was $90. I'll show a picture on screen. And they had popsicles in it. I don't know when there were popsicles in Star Wars, but I just found that to be a weird piece in a Lego Star Wars set. So that's my answer for that one. Padawan of Christ has a terrible joke for us. He says, did you hear the story about maple syrup? You're lucky. It's pretty sappy. JD, the unknown Lego fan, says, are you subscribed to Lego's YouTube channel? No, I am not. Lego's YouTube channel just uploads garbage to me. Like, I just don't watch any of that content at all ever. So, no, I'm not subscribed to them. Although I'm subscribed to like 1,000 other people. MandRproductions has a question for me. He says, will you be on Lego Masters? The answer to that is no. A couple reasons. I did get the, like, a lot of people got this, but I got the, like, email or the Instagram message from like the casting people, and I went on a quick phone call, and they were like, so do you consider yourself like a creative builder? And I'm like, no, I don't. I can't build, so I don't want to really do this. And I recommended someone that I know. His name is Alan, #1 Draft Brick on Instagram. Very cool builder, very cool guy. I've met him at a few conventions, and I'm really hoping he ends up on the show. I think he would be a really fun guy to have on the show. Ultimately, I was like, I can't do it, not a chance. I also don't think I could, if I made it 7 weeks, I could spend 7 weeks in LA. I would love to visit LA. It sounds like a great time to have all my expenses paid and everything, but I also don't think I could just leave YouTube for 7 weeks, and it seems like you'd be filming a lot of the day, and I wouldn't have time to make videos, and I don't know, it'd be an interesting time period in my life, but I don't I don't think I'm down for that. Mr. Howard says, I have a few questions. First off, he says, why do you buy so many battle packs and make no mocks? Now, that's counterintuitive. Battle packs are just to make armies, not to make mocks. Now, if you would ask why I buy so many pick-a-brick cups and make no mocks, that's a valid question. I will answer that for you because I just made it up. It's a good question. I'm asking it myself. I kind of hoard Lego pieces, if you haven't figured that out. I intend to build a mock at some point. In Mocktober, I'm going to build a mock. I don't know what the mock is going to be yet. If you have any suggestions, you can comment below. I've considered a few different things, but Mocktober is right around the corner. I'll be starting that very soon. His second question is, what is your least favorite era of Lego Star Wars? My favorite is 2011. Least is probably the recent years. So my favorite era is probably like 2007 to 2009. That's like a good 3-year period for me. It's like trying to make me pick my least favorite Boston sports team. You just can't do that. I don't know if I have a least favorite era. I can't do it. What is the worst era of Lego Star Wars? There isn't one. I can't answer that. What do you think is the worst and most scalped Lego set ever? Emerald Knight? Nah, because that set was available widespread. I think the most scalped Lego set, or scalped Lego sets, were probably the Target exclusives that just happened. I mean, San Diego Comic-Con sets and minifigs obviously are scalped, right? People just buy them to sell them. But the Lego Movie 2 Brickheads and the Darth Vader bust that were Target and Walmart exclusives were very much scalped. Like, people just bought them in high quantities just to sell. That's what scalping is. Like, any of the sets you see behind me that weren't, like, exclusive limited numbers, like, that's not scalping. That's just you bought something and now it's being sold. To me, that's something completely different. So I would go with the Lego Movie 2 Brickheads and the Darth Vader bust as the most scalped things ever that aren't San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, because those are obvious, like, perpetual year-over-year contenders for that one. Cody Cool Studio says, if you take care of chickens, does that make you a chicken tender? Also, I have a question for you. At what point does a chicken nugget become a chicken tender? Like, what's the size difference? Mason TV says, what is your favorite Lego Marvel set? So I consulted my friend Jared, and I don't know if this is 100% true for me, because there are some other good Lego Marvel sets, but the Helicarrier is definitely a really good Lego Marvel set. It's funny because we were having this conversation yesterday, and we had gone to the Lego store maybe like 4 or 5 years, it had to be like 4 years ago, and I'm there with Jared, and this is before the Helicarrier had retired. It was maybe like the middle of the Helicarrier's life cycle, and it was like $300, right? $350, and Jared was going to potentially buy that set that day, and I'm like telling him to buy it. I'm like, Jared, you gotta buy this set is so cool. Why aren't you buying this? You love Marvel. And at the time I had watched no Marvel movies besides like the first Iron Man a long time ago, but ultimately he decided not to buy it, and I obviously asked him yesterday, I'm like, Jared, do you regret not buying it? He's like, yes, I absolutely regret not buying it. So always listen to my advice is the moral of the story. You probably shouldn't do that, but that was a time when you probably should have bought it and he didn't. So that's a really good set. I don't know if it's my favorite, but right now it'll be my placeholder favorite. Dark Boy Injustice says, what is the worst Lego battle pack ever? Well, I think I did a worst to first on this. Now, I don't remember what I said the worst was, but it's probably the Jedi and Clone Troopers battle pack. It's literally not a battle pack. It undermines the entire idea of a battle pack, and as Lego Bob 35 beautifully put it, where's the battle? Stud Muffin Studios says, what is your perfect crime? So I have a couple perfect crimes, one of which I don't think I'm going to say. The other one is kind of a Lego crime, and I think I said it in a vlog recently, so I think I'm just going to put it out here in this video. My perfect crime, and the most, like, ridiculous thing to me would be if somebody, like, walked into a Lego convention. This is just one of those out there thoughts I had when I was at Brook Fair, Virginia. I was like, what if someone just walked in here with, like, a baseball bat at, like, I don't know, 1 a.m. So it's not very busy, and you know, there's a lot of open space, there's not a lot of people that are going to stop you, and you just start swinging at Lego sets and creations that people have built. Like, I was just thinking about how many man hours of damage you could do in the span of, I don't know, a minute or 2 minutes before anyone could stop you, because you have a baseball bat. No one's going to come near you when you're swinging a baseball bat around. There's not a chance. Like, you could destroy so many mocks. It would be absolutely disgusting. Oh, wait, I remember my other perfect crime. This is one that you could actually probably get away with, but I 100% do not condone or recommend doing. And I talked to a Lego store employee. They said that no one had ever tried it, at least to their knowledge, at that particular store. The idea is you take a pick-a-brick cup like this, and then, like, at the same area where they have the pick-a-brick stuff, there's collectible minifigures, right? You could easily, like, you know, fold down a CMF bag like this, you know, make it small enough to fit inside the pick-a-brick cup reasonably, and then fill Lego around it, and then no one would know the CMF is inside, therefore you just got a CMF for free with your pick-a-brick. That is my perfect Lego store crime, just saying. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do that because I don't need a CMF that bad, but, you know, that's my perfect crime. You asked, I answered, all right? Don't do it. Baldevin something something says, what is your top 3 Lego themes of 2019? So, obviously, number 1 is going to be Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Plus, we're still getting Episode 9 sets later on this year. It's been a good year for Star Wars, in my opinion. The other 2 best themes of 2019 to me have been Harry Potter and Hidden Side. I really love what Lego's doing with Hidden Side. I really hope it catches on with kids. And Harry Potter, obviously, returning for the 2nd year in a row since its big return last year, it has once again blown me out of the water. There have been a lot of really good Harry Potter sets, so those are my top 3 themes for 2019. Martin Hee says, which Lego set gives you the most nostalgia? And this is a tough one because there are obviously a lot of Lego sets I own. I'm gonna probably look around my room and really think about this one, see what I see that, you know, sparks my imagination, because I know you guys probably have your Lego set that when you think of, like, the olden days of Lego, you're like, oh, that's the one. Like, the Clone Walker Battle Pack might be the one, but I don't know. Let me take a look around, just see what really sparks joy in my heart. I am definitely going with any of the 2005 Episode 3 sets. All of those have just, like, a pretty unique design philosophy compared to what we have today. Like, there's still a lot of studs showing on sets like that. They aren't very tiled off, so they just have a very unique design look to them, and I would say anything from that 2005 era would, you know, not one particular set really, but, like, just those sets in general, I just look back on, like, with a lot of love. Brickmaster225 says, what is your favorite Hidden Side set? I've got to say the school bus, right there, the school bus. School bus is really cool. It's only $60. It's the best Lego school bus ever. Owen says, do you think it would work well if Lego broke up some bigger possible sets into multiple sets that can be combined to make a larger build? For example, Geonosis Arena or Jedi Temple. I think neither of those particularly work for what you're describing. I think something similar to what you're describing is what they've done with the Harry Potter sets there, with the Hogwarts Castle combination sets, and I don't really know what they could do in Star Wars that would be like that. Like, the Hoth sets are kind of like that. Like, they made UCS Hoth basically that, where they could have split it up, but I can't really think of anything in Star Wars that comes immediately to mind. Maybe you guys have something that you can think of that would be similar to what they've done with the Hogwarts Castle, where you can actually have sections that are distinctly different, yet still make a good combination. Like, the Jedi Temple doesn't work like that, because it's just kind of one symmetrical building, where Hogwarts isn't this one symmetrical thing, it's this giant conglomerate of things. Same thing with the Geonosis Arena. I don't really see any need for multiple sets in that vein. Comment below if you can think of anything that would be really cool like that, but I think if there was, Lego would have already done it. But that's all we have for Ask MandRproductions episode 88. Leave a comment down below if you have a question for next week's Ask MandRproductions, or if you just have anything to say about this week's video, you know, you can harp on me down there, and I will see you all again next week. Goodbye.